The standard ancient Greek hero is defined by the figure of Achilles. His primary tools were rage, overwhelming physical force, and the pursuit of battlefield glory above all else. But the sea does not care about a warrior's reputation. Against the chaotic power of the natural world, physical strength is useless. King Odysseus of Ithaca represented a different archetype. He didn't end the decade-long Trojan War with a sword, but with the Trojan horse, a strategy that favored deception over a direct assault. The traditional hero approaches a problem in a straight line. If there is an obstacle, he applies force until it breaks. After the war, Odysseus is forced to adopt a different survival tactic. His 10-year journey home relies on bypassing impossible threats by outthinking them. This epic marks a shift in Greek storytelling. It suggests that survival depends on a hero's ability to adapt to a world that cannot be conquered by force alone. Odysseus and his crew are trapped inside a cave by the giant Cyclops, Polyphemus. The giant seals the exit and begins eating the men. A direct attack is a dead end. If they kill the giant while he sleeps, they will never be able to move the massive boulder blocking the cave's mouth. They would be trapped with a corpse. Odysseus chooses a different path. He offers the giant potent wine, waiting for the monster to drink enough to pass out and lower his guard. While the giant is still conscious, he asks for the hero's name. Odysseus uses a linguistic trick, telling the monster his name is Nobody. Once the giant falls into a stupor, the crew blinds him with a sharpened stake. When he calls out for help, he tells the other giants that nobody is killing him. They walk away, allowing Odysseus and his men to escape the next morning by clinging to the undersides of the giant's sheep. Despite this success, Odysseus carries a trait the Greeks called hubris. It is an excessive pride that can override a leader's logical judgment. As they sail away, Odysseus cannot resist the urge to take credit. He shouts his real name to the blinded giant, which allows the monster to call on his father, the sea god Poseidon, for revenge. Intelligence is a powerful weapon, but it becomes self-destructive when it is stripped of humility. The journey moves from physical monsters to psychological dangers. Odysseus must now defend his crew against the loss of their own motivation. Threats like the Lotus Eaters or the sorceress Circe don't use physical weapons. They prey on a lack of focus, offering temptations that could stop the journey permanently. The most famous of these are the sirens, creatures who lure sailors to their deaths with a song that no man can resist. Odysseus plugs his men's ears with heavy wax, but has himself lashed to the mast. He listens to the song, experiencing the full weight of his own urges, while being physically restrained by his own plan. When he finally reaches Ithaca, he finds a new problem. His palace has been occupied by over 100 suitors, who are wasting his wealth and pressuring his wife. Charging into the palace would result in immediate death, because he is outnumbered. Instead, Odysseus adopts a disguise. Looking like an old beggar, he enters the palace to gather intelligence, testing the loyalty of his household while he waits for a strategic opening. A leader's greatest asset here is not the eagerness to fight, but the emotional endurance to remain patient until he has the advantage. Penelope eventually sets a challenge for the suitors. They must string Odysseus's heavy bow and shoot an arrow through 12 axe heads. Every suitor fails. But the disguised Odysseus succeeds easily, and from his calculated position in the hall, he and his son defeat the men who invaded their home. However, the fighting is not the final test. Penelope refuses to accept his identity based on physical victory alone. She sets a trap, ordering a servant to move their marriage bed. Odysseus immediately objects, knowing the bed is impossible to move because he carved it from a living olive tree rooted in the ground. Passing this test proves that Penelope's skepticism and strategic mind are a match for his own. The Odyssey redefined the concept of a hero. It demonstrated that while physical strength wins battles, it is intellect, adaptability, and loyalty that allow a person to navigate a difficult world and find their